Hey, Juice Heads. Welcome back. Episode 9 of What's Trending with Juice Giorgio. Who's George Giorgio? I'm fucking Juice Giorgio. If you didn't know. If you didn't know so. How you doing, guys? Juice Heads. A little bit of Grandpa's old cough medicine will do you well, I'll tell you what. So, let's go. Your favorite opinion show. We're back for some more. The date is, I want to say, Wednesday, December 9th. And we're getting to you here in the evening. And the show's just evolving like all the other shows. It's a blast doing them. We put a couple rhubarbs in the can last night. Take that however you want to mean it. And we're back for some more. And, originally this show started out because I was fucking obsessed with Twitter. And Twitter now... And I admitted this the first couple of shows. Twitter's really been like a cesspool of the internet, kind of like walking through the streets of Manhattan, and you just see it's a fucking cesspool. Except for the nice areas where rich people live and dine and shop. But yeah. So now this is just more like what's trending in the world, what's trending in my life, what I see out there that's going on, and what the fuck's up with this Wi-Fi iPhone situation? I'm sure half my 20 to 50 viewers out there, depending on the week, I don't know if you guys have this problem. I go out, I turn off the Wi-Fi. I only turn it on at home or where I know there's goddamn Wi-Fi. And it turns back on like at least a dozen times before I come back home. Probably draining my fucking battery. And it's just not cool, I feel like the more they upgrade these fucking things, the less it helps you. It's just to fuck you. It's just so you buy a new phone that probably the upgrade is meant for anyway. And, this trending with me, it's fucking bullshit, That's rubbing my rhubarb the wrong way. I would have mentioned that last night, but I didn't think about that. But it is just goddamn annoying. And it slows down your phone, too, when you're trying to do shit. And just fuck that. Speaking of fucking things, fuck YouTube. Bongino, one of my favorite political commentators today, had some words not to be minced for YouTube. He's actually daring them to kick him off. Because apparently now YouTube, if you're refuting the official results of the 2020 presidential election and you're saying there was some funny business going around, your video's getting kicked off. And who knows what other disciplinary action they're going to fucking take, right? These cocksuckers. That's why I did want to say today I did just join Rumble. It's just rumble.com. You could find me on there. You could type in what's trending with the @ sign. You could type in Juice Giorgio. I believe one word. You could try 2 words, but I think it's 1 word. I'm on there too. I'll probably spread that link as well. And let's see. What's the one thing missing here today? I'm usually pretty good on these things. But let me just go over a couple ways that Soviet Russia is like YouTube anyway. These fucking cocksuckers. Yeah, they both like red, right? They both don't allow negative opinion. Massive overlord. I don't know who Susan is. I guess she's the CEO of YouTube. But really, YouTube is owned by Google/Big Tech. So they're basically communists, right? I mean, they don't want you to hear what they don't want you to hear. There's no First Amendment with these cocksuckers. Right. The Soviet didn't care about their citizens. Soon to be the United States, if it goes all blue. And YouTube doesn't care about its viewers because a lot of my favorite guys are not even on YouTube anymore. Fucking Sam Tripoli had a show on YouTube that I really enjoyed called Tinfoil Hat. I think it still exists somewhere on the internet. My boy DePaulo's off YouTube. They keep whacking him with fucking suspensions, so he had enough. He made his own site. As we all know, Joe Rogan signed a deal with Spotify. And Joe Rogan's really just the tip of the spearhead. I mean, obviously they got rid of Alex Jones, who, say what you will about him, the guy's fucking entertaining. I mean, geez. Another guy I'm a big fan of, Ryan Dawson. I think they shut down like 3 of his channels. that had, I don't know how many videos, probably dozens or hundreds of videos on them. I just kind of found out about the guy fairly recently, so he's still barely on YouTube, but he'll get like a minimum of 1,000 people on a live stream, and his videos are demonetized, which makes no fucking sense. I'm a long way from monetization, but I'm just too under the radar. Otherwise, I'd be the fuck out of here too, believe me. And I like the last one, forces propaganda. For the Soviet, it says on citizens, and for YouTube, it says on viewers. And that's what they do. It's a whole propaganda outfit, and it's wrong, and it's bullshit. And, we do have a First Amendment in this country. I think I pointed out before. You can go to Canada, and you can get locked up if you're a stand-up comedian, and you, I don't know if it's you offend someone or whatever, breaks whatever version of the First Amendment they have, which they don't have a First Amendment, right? So if you just say the wrong thing, you're done. You're fucking done. And that's a shame. And I remember when our country never used to be like that, but now they make you pay for it with big tech, and it's a shame. And we can get into hate speech and how it's disgusting, and that's what Section 230 is all about. It's about liability for stuff like hate speech, but then all you need to do is get accused of hate speech, and you're flagged, and you're done. And now we have to define what's hate speech and blah 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 blah. And you just need people to talk. You need to let people fucking talk. Otherwise, you don't have a fucking First Amendment. Jeez, I don't know what's so hard to understand. But and this is a little late for you guys, but keep this in mind for next year. I believe it's on December 4th. National Cookie Day. Who doesn't like a good fucking M&M cookie? God, those are, I can't even say those were my favorites when I was a kid, although they were one of them, especially the Keebler elves made them, and then whatever the fuck they're called, the little elves made them. And they were great at the bakery, at fucking Sorrento's on Ridgedale Ave, now on Eagle Rock. Free plug. And, oh God, they used to make the best cookies, aside from my grandmother. She'd make the fucking, the little guinea knot cookies with the icing and the sprinkles on them. Oof. And it's about that time of year, too. I may have to fucking make them from now on. Oh, and the biscuit. Biscotti? Is it biscotti or is it biscuit? I don't know. What's more Madigan? I don't know. I don't even know what the fuck that word means, but it just sounded appropriate. But yeah, National Cookie Day. You go to Mrs. Fields, you go to Subway, which I will never go to Subway again because, first of all, the meat's not real meat. Everything is like fucking turkey based or something. And then on top of it, they give you the bread, they give you like all these toppings, and they give you like 2 fucking pieces of meat. I don't know if there's a place called Blimpies. I don't know if that's outside of New Jersey or the New York, New Jersey, Connecticut tri-state area. But if it is, check out Blimpies, man. They're awesome. And I think the main one or the first one is actually from Hoboken. So you can get there from New York pretty easily. But yeah, check them the fuck out. And I'm pretty sure they'd give you a free cookie because they're just good people as far as I'm concerned. Let's see. And I actually, you know what? This is a first on what's trending. I have to go back to Soviet YouTube because I brought up all these points. And yes, do check me out on Rumble. But very important point when it comes to them pulling down videos concerning the election. There's nothing to see here, folks, including the lawsuit that the state of Texas filed last night against 4 states, Michigan, Wisconsin, Georgia, and Pennsylvania, my neighboring state. And basically the premise of the lawsuit is, you know what? This is a federal election, and you can't just change the rules in your states weeks, months before a federal level election, because now you're fucking us. Now you're fucking with us. You can't just make up the rules as you go along, which is what I've been saying. And the Supreme Court's going to hear it. That doesn't mean they're going to do the right thing or what should be the right thing, but we'll see. You know, we'll fucking see what happens. And I think we're going to realign a little bit. I think I'm going to move a little more to the center here. There you go. Look at that. Making all sorts of good decisions tonight on what's trending here. All right. So what's next here on the docket? All right. So again, I didn't want the show to be like all negative. I'm really trying here. Really trying my best to be good. That's a sort of like a fuck you. Every episode, it's like I'm Groundhog Daying myself here. But yeah, a little fuck you to 2020. It was a shitty year for a lot of people, and I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry for all the people that either got furloughed or lost their job or had to go through a rough time business-wise. My heart goes out to all the restaurant owners, all the restaurant workers, club workers, whatever they might be. It just sucks. And how do you expect people to make a fucking living? So I just wanted to share a little bit of my personal experience because this is trending with me. 2020 did finally catch up with me. I mentioned pretty much the day after Election Day. Of course, the election was fucking screwy, and my heart was breaking a little bit just because of the system and the way the system was going, and feeling like my vote might never really mean anything ever again or count ever again, right? I mean, fuck. That just, like, talk about just, you know, sticking a double dong up your fucking shit shooter, right? But you know, the year wasn't all bad. I probably haven't ran outside since I was in high school, you know, 20 years ago, at least 18 years ago, whatever it was. And so I got to connect with nature a little bit, got to work out outside a little bit, get some vitamin D the natural way, which is good. And got to spend some time with some friends, got to learn some new recipes, did some cooking. Thinking about starting a cooking show called Cooking with Juice, because I got some pretty good feedback on the guinea pigs with that. But look, it's December 9th. We got a few more weeks to go, and hopefully we don't hear about this dark winter that there's been rumors of, right? So I don't think it can get any worse than 2020 anyway. So let's just hope for a better 2021. But I just did want to point out. I feel fortunate because for me it wasn't all bad. Started this podcast shit up. It's pretty fun. But let's get through this. And if you know me, if I could help you in any fucking way, you fucking hit up Juice Giorgio. All right? Next here on What's Trending, we got some Morpheus. Morpheus ain't trending. But I do like what he said here. What if I told you that making fun of white people was just as racist as making fun of black people? You know, and and it's so true. It's just so true. The double fucking standards and the selective moral outrage. And you're not going to hear that term a lot in the mainstream media, because basically selective moral outrage applies to when somebody that's to the left of center does something egregious or maybe morally wrong or whatever it might be, something not good, and then somebody on the right does something comparable, but only the person that's onto the right of center gets called out for it. That's called selective moral outrage. And to be honest with you, not to sound a little too biased here, but I haven't really seen that on the right. I've really only seen that come from the left, because the left controls about 100% of big tech. They control about 99% of the media. They control about 99% of Hollywood. So where the fuck else would you see it anyway? And of course, they control pretty much every college campus in the country. You know what I'm saying? My great-grandfather Domenico would be spinning in his fucking grave if he knew this is what he came to. Or, well, he didn't come to this, but if he knew this is what it would become one day. Fucking Domenico! I can only... So, his last name was like 4 or 5 syllables after he got here. Can you imagine what the hell it was before he got here? Jeez, right? No, but Congressman Matt Gaetz was in town in Jersey. And he's on Fox News. He's on a lot of the channels. I think he's written a book or two. I tend to side with a lot of the shit he talks about. I think he's a pretty reasonable dude. Of course, the people on the left fucking hate him and would crucify him out on Route 10 if they could. Right? But fucking Governor Murphy, it was a Freudian slip. he called him Matt Putz instead of Matt Gaetz. So Matt Putz was actually trending on Twitter. I was kind of wondering why. Fucking King Murphy, you are so fucking funny with your Freudian slip. Oh wait, his last name's Gaetz. Oh, so you called him Putz? That is so fucking funny. Holy fucking shit. No wonder why you won the election. And then you had to see the bots and the people just sucking his fucking ass on Twitter after he made that statement. It was just, oh, and everybody was saying, including the governor / king, you're not welcome in New Jersey. This was because Matt Gaetz was at some sort of event where he wasn't social distancing or wearing a mask indoors. And again, this is why I started out this trend with talking to you about selective moral outrage, because he's got the balls to say stuff like that and the balls to be so unfunny, right? What about all these fucking hundreds and thousands of people that got together the Saturday after the election to cheer for Biden as if their team won the World Cup? No masks, no distancing. Not to mention all the riots in the summer, all the fucking protests in the summer by the left. No mask, no distancing. But you're going to call out one fucking congressman that came here for probably a private function. And, when these people do this, it's usually like a few $100 a head. It's usually like a dinner or something. It's probably like a super private thing. So you probably had one asshole in there taking pictures, like whatever. And this governor just got caught a couple weeks ago eating indoors with his family, not distanced and without masks on. And they got called out by some cool fucking broads from Jersey. Fucking, I don't know if they're of age or married, but if they're single and over the age of 18, someone please send them a link to the show. They're like, hey, how you doing, Governor Murphy? Go fuck yourself. Fucking my kind of broad right there. That's awesome. But see, in this country, you can do that. In this country, you can do that. And last but not least, on What's Trending, Episode 9 with Juice Giorgio. One more swig of Grandpa's old cough medicine here, huh? I would tell you it's great tea, but you wouldn't believe me. It's my favorite. So I did want to go over real quick in our, whether you want to call it a history election. This was an election for history. That was a Freudian slip. By the way, speaking of one more Freudian slip comment. What about when Joe Biden, when he was campaigning a couple of months ago, had his little slip and he said, we've created the greatest election fraud team in history. And that's a perfect segue, because I want to tell you guys about the difference between election fraud and voter fraud. Because one is way more likely to sort of get the results you want if you're to the right of center than not. And by the way, I want you guys to know, when I was doing my research for this, there's a way to search on Google where you can get your results from any year you want and prior to that year. So the results would only be up to that year, right? I hope that makes sense. So I set it that 2005 would be the latest possible year I can get results on what voter fraud means and what election fraud means. Because those definitions wouldn't change too much in 2020, would they? So, and 2005, our country, even though everybody hated, shit was a little more stable between the left and the right. Shit, in 2005, I didn't even give a shit about politics. Most people didn't. And in my opinion, most people shouldn't until it hits you in the pocketbook. Then you vote for whoever's more reasonable in that department. And because you can't spend more money than you have. Anywho. So voter fraud occurs when legally qualified voters vote more than once during an election, or when people who are not qualified electors vote. Makes sense, right? So, again, we've heard rumors of that. YouTube's probably going to pull my video because I gave you that definition, even though I'm not applying it to the context, because context is king, but I'm not applying it to the context of, I'm trying to figure out how to, I shifted once, I should have never done it, right? But I'm trying to let you guys know the difference, and I'm not applying this at all, YouTube, to the 2020 election. And so election fraud, I have here. There's a little more information on election fraud. All right. So election fraud, let me get my best reading voice for you. A person, including an election official, who in any election for federal office, 1, knowingly and willfully intimidates, threatens, or coerces, or attempts to intimidate, threaten, or coerce any person for A, registering to vote or voting, or attempting to register or vote, B, urging or aiding any person to register to vote or to attempt to register or vote, or C, exercising any right under this chapter, or 2, knowingly and willingly depriving, defrauding, or attempting to deprive or defraud the residents of a state of a fair and impartially conducted election process. Now, 2A. By the procurement or submission of voter registration applicants that are known by the person to be materially false, fictitious, or fraudulent under the laws of the state in which the election is held, or B, the procurement, casting, or tabulation of ballots that are known by the person to be materially false, fictitious, or fraudulent under the laws of the state in which the election is held. So that's election fraud. Much more intricate. And again, I'm not going to apply that to the 2020 election, but I think we heard a little bit about both of those things fairly recently here in this country. And I'll let you decide which one applies more, or if they both apply equally, if they were to hypothetically apply in this 2020 election. So that's all we got for you today, Juice Heads. Thank you so much for tuning in to episode 9 of What's Trending. Again, shout out to Don Tony and Kevin Castle. If you guys have checked this out, or I know you guys have checked out a couple episodes along the lines. Again, my wrestling podcast heroes. And just shout out to all the Juice Heads. Shout out to everybody watching. Please hit like. Please hit subscribe. It does something with the fucking algorithms. You know what I'm saying? Helps us out. And again, the best thing you guys can do for me is just share the video. And that's right, yeah. And go to rumble.com, because I'm probably too under the radar to get noticed on YouTube. But rumble.com is where I'll be also from now on. All right, guys, stay safe, Juice Heads, and peace out.